What's going on, guys? It's me, Emerald Gamer 7, coming back at you in another video. Here to get my thoughts and opinions on the supposed leaked rumor that is Dying Light coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Yay. In my personal opinion, do not buy this game, but I'm going to read you some of the article and then we will discuss. This article comes from NintendoLive.com. I'll put a link in the article in the description below. That way you guys can go check it out. But the article says, Techland will supposedly be bringing Dying Light Platinum Edition to the Nintendo Switch this October. According to PPEPL via Nintendo Everything, this version includes all the DLC from the first game in one complete package. All up, that's 4 major DLCs and 17 skin bundles. The Switch release will apparently be available in digital and physical form for the US retail price of $49.99, and hard copies will include a map, survival guide, and stickers. Now, my thoughts and opinions on the subject? Well, I have many. For starters, the price is too high, $50 retail, US basically, and I just feel like it's too much money. The game is pretty old. Yes, I know it's coming for the Switch, but the game is pretty old. I feel, in my opinion, it should be like $30, maybe even $40. So that was thought number one. Thought number two is it has no business being on the Switch in the first place. I remember playing it back then in 2015, 2016 on the PS4. Even then, during certain points of the game, even the PS4 struggled with it. Like, it performed good overall for the most part, but there were just certain scenes where it just struggled with it. And I also heard from other people who played it on the Xbox One that even on the Xbox One, it struggled with the game sometimes. And I have no idea why they would even want to release this game on the Switch. Dying Light has already been successful ever since it came out back in 2015. The game now has lifetime total sales of 17 million copies sold worldwide, which is quite impressive. So I don't understand why they are trying to sell more while trying to port this game to another console. I guess Techland feels that they could probably squeeze another 500,000 or maybe even a million copies more through the Nintendo Switch. This is just another reason, and it shows and proves that Nintendo blew it with the Nintendo Switch OLED. Instead, like I said, they should have just announced a Nintendo Switch Pro instead of Nintendo Switch OLED, because I know that this Switch cannot run this game. Even though the game came out in 2015, it was graphically demanded back then, and it still looks good today. Now, here's the thing about the Nintendo Switch. I know it's underpowered, but I just never knew how underpowered it was. So I got a little bit curious, and I started to do some research. And this actually comes from this website I found called thegamingsetup.com, which lists out all the current consoles, as well as previous generation consoles, and how powerful these consoles are. I will also leave this in the description down below so you can go check this chart out. It's really informative. Now, typically when they measure how powerful a game console is in terms of performance, they use this thing called teraflops. What are teraflops, you might ask? Teraflops is an acronym for floating point operations per second. It is used as a general measure of performance of a processing unit. So basically, in theory, how powerful a console is and what it's capable of doing. So basically, the more teraflops that it has, the more powerful a console is, and the more powerful and capable it is, and what it can do in terms of like either pushing the graphics all the way to 4K or pushing the game to a high frame rate. So basically, every 1,000 G-flops of performance is equivalent to 1 teraflop of performance. Do you want to know how much power the Nintendo Switch has in dock mode? Keep in mind, when it's in dock mode, it means that it's docked and you can play the game on your TV. When it's in dock mode, it only has 500 G-flops of performance, which is the equivalent to half a teraflop of performance. Now, do you want to know how much teraflops performance the base PS4 and base Xbox One have? The base PS4 has 1.8 teraflops, while the base Xbox One has 1.3 teraflops. And keep in mind, when Dying Light came out for both those consoles back then, both those consoles had a hard time running the game sometimes. And when you're playing this game or any other game in portable mode, it has even less. It only has 393 G-flops of performance. I remember when they announced Dying Light back then, I think it was like 2013, they announced it for both the PS4 and Xbox One, as well as the 360 and PS3. And then they later found out that they couldn't port it onto those consoles just because the game was too demanding for them. And now they want to try to port it on the Nintendo Switch, when the Nintendo Switch is barely twice as powerful as a PS3. And keep in mind, the PS4 is 8 times more powerful than the PS3. So, yeah, I have no idea what their logic is behind this. Alright, so here's what I think in my opinion, and I could be wrong about this, because maybe they can port this game and make it somewhat playable, but here's what I'm thinking. In dock mode, the game would probably be like 720p, 30 frames a second, and then when you try to play it in portable mode, it might be 540p, or worse, it could be 480p and run between 15 to 20 frames a second and be a freaking slideshow. But anyways, that's just my thoughts and opinion on the subject. And if you haven't played Dying Light yet, go play it. It's an absolute great game. The story's kind of but you really actually play this game just for the gameplay. You're going to be sucked in. There's so much stuff to do, so many hours of content. The world is great. The gameplay is great. Zombies are difficult. There's nice variety of stuff. And don't play this on Nintendo Switch. Play on anything else. Play it on the PS4. Play it on the Xbox One. If you have a decent PC or a decent laptop, play it on that. If you manage to get your hands and score an Xbox One X, those are really hard to find. But you can actually play that on the Xbox One X and play that game at 60 frames a second, which is just amazing. And whenever I do get my hands on the Xbox One X, I really want to try a game at 60 frames a second. And if there's a need for you to absolutely play this game in portable mode or something, and if you were lucky enough to actually get a pre-order for the Steam Decks, just play it on the Steam Deck. It has 2 teraflops of performance, which makes it just as powerful as a base PS4, and it's portable. So I recommend even playing Dying Light on the Steam Deck if you manage to get your hands on a pre-order. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and consider subscribing down below. I'm always working on new content, new videos. And if you do like this gameplay, I will also leave my Twitch info in the description down below as well, so you can give me a follow there if you guys want to. But anyways, guys, yeah, it's Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.